What's up, y'all? One Piece One Life here, and oh my goodness, it's time. Y'all actually don't understand how happy I am, because y'all, something that I've been saying for the absolute longest time finally came true today, and it's literally only about this one thing. I'm so excited. Let's just get into it. If you want to know why I'm excited, guys, please do something for me. I beg of you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this every week. You know we're about to get toxic, and share it around with all your friends who love the series. You always know what we say. Let's get it going. Oh, and make sure you subscribe to me and my boys over at CSY. You know we about to do our thing. So we start out, and the chapter is called Mountain Eater, and wow, already I'm intrigued. In Yamato's cover story, it's shown that Who's Who has captured some rebels, and Oda tries to silhouette them, but it's clearly just Ulti and Page One. You can tell by the very special horn and bucket hat combo that Page One has. It's very obviously them. In another life, I would talk about this more, but I don't care. We have to move on. So we start back up in the castle with Luffy, Zoro, Nami, and Road, and they're all just talking about how long this is taking them, and by this point, it's gonna be sundown before they can end up finding the key. Road says that the regular guards who are here probably wouldn't know anything, and the only people who would truly know something is one of the old graybeards like Lord Ja. So Luffy's like, well, maybe I'll just ask him then. I mean, he was real cool. He'll probably just tell me, right? Wrong. Zoro's just like, you know, we actually haven't made the decision to let him go yet. But Luffy's just like, yeah, shut up. I'm the captain. I make the decisions. What they say in that one film? I'm the captain now. Which is ironic because the two people that Luffy is currently with right now are the two people that are most commonly viewed as the captain who would be captain besides Luffy. But I digress. So as Nami calls the group over to see what she sees, they see a red carpet, which, as Road notes, is the mark of nobility, meaning that the room they're about to enter is the throne room. So they enter the throne room, and it's about as lavish as you'd expect, except that it seems kind of smashed up and almost as if this battle is recent. But curiously, Road picks them up to see, and they all look at the pentagram summoning circle. They all talk about what it means, with Road saying, yeah, you know, in some other countries, some people use these to actually summon demons, but you know, it's not like a demon could really have been summoned to Elbaf, right? In another stroke of interesting Luffy remembrance, he's like, you know, I think I've seen this somewhat recently. And you know what? Good job, Luffy, because you'd be right. This is exactly what was shown when Saturn hit the summoning jutsu to summon all the other Goroseis to his side. 5 points to Gryffindor. But then there's what the group can only assume to be a vengeful spirit that just starts talking, and everybody's like, whoa, so there's a demon for real? Or no, is this a ghost? The spirit is just like, Straw Hat Luffy, I've been waiting to meet you. Not creepy at all. Road is like, I absolutely have to get out of here. This is getting way too freaky for me. But as Road takes them and turns to leave, an axe suddenly comes hurling out of nowhere and slams right by Road's head. You heard me right. An axe. Road drops the straw hats, but Luffy kind of like arranges it so that they're okay. He kind of stretches and saves the others. But then also, I just don't understand. I actually don't like Zoro's aura farming moments in this arc, because why is he carrying Nami in a fireman's carry, landing like nothing happened? See what I did there? Can you tell I'm much happier about this chapter than a lot of other chapter reviews? And then as they look up, they see that there's a figure sitting there, and we get introduced to who Rodo calls Sir Ya, the human resident of Elbaf, and ex-pirate Yasan, but we already know who it is. First things first to note about his appearance is it's almost confirmed in my mind that this was certainly the person who was drinking with Crocus back in that cover story that we saw, because he's literally wearing the same garbs. I mean, like, just look at him. So we got old man Ya just talking about some, yeah, I felt a strange surge of haki earlier, Rodo. I came to check it out, but it looks like I missed it, but hey, at least you guys were here. And then he goes on to say, I've heard rumors about you, Straw Hat Luffy. They say that you defeated Kaido. You know, it's been a long time since I've been to Wano country. Did you figure out who it is yet, guys? No? I'll give you more time. And then we get confirmation from Rodo that this is in fact the person who is indeed Ripley's partner and Colin's father. Yasan tells them that Colin is 20 and Ripley is 80. And I'm not gonna lie, I was trying to like piece together the ages to see like if this is okay or not, or like what was going on, but it gets confusing. Cause see, if Colin is 20, divide that by 3 means he's roughly around 6 or 7 years old, at least by human standards, with Ripley herself being approximately 27 by human standards. But let's just assume that this Yasan, who we totally don't know who it is, he seems to be an ex-pirate of the Roger era. So if we take, I don't know, let's say Rayleigh's age, which I believe is like 78, they said that they got together 20 years ago. So he would be around 58, and Ripley would have been 60, but in human years would have been 20. yeah, this is why I didn't want to think about it too much. The whole giant age thing, it gets confusing. And he says just as much because Yasan is like, it doesn't make sense to marry a giant when I'm gonna be the only one getting older in this relationship. But he just pops down and is like, love knows no bounds. He sounds like a certain someone I know. We then get a bit of gas for the mixed races because he says that mixed races have always been there throughout the eras. He gives examples like the Buccaneers, the Dosundadas, whoever those are, the Longnecks and the Longlegs, as well as the Wotons, one of which we saw in Foxy's crew. God, I hate Foxy. And he's just like, such rare hybrids, they're not common these days and it's pretty hard for them to live, but you just gotta be flexible, if you know what I mean. Oh, Yasan, I think I know what you mean. So you just gotta love this. Zoro's like, you seem like an expert. Just who the hell are you anyway? And Yasan just responds with almost the Jiraiya-like stance. I'm an emissary of love. Oh, we have it. The Sanji comparisons, boy, it's time. Because you have Luffy himself in the story being like, wow, I bet this is exactly what Sanji's gonna be like when he's older. Oh, you don't say, Luffy. Oh, we'll talk about that. So Luffy's just like, oh, anyway, old dude, before I forget, do you know where the key to free Loki is? And Rhoda's just like, whoa, Straw Hat, you should not be telling this kind of information just willy-nilly. I really do love this exchange because Luffy's just like, oh, wait, just forget I said anything. Zoro's like, yeah, you're too late, bud. But the guy's all up for it. Yasan is like, y'all some troublemakers, huh? I like that. Let's go. Nami calls him names, but I don't even care about that because he's here for the love of the game. Yasan is like, you know the kind of man Loki is though, right? What are you gonna do if things turn south? And of course, it's Luffy, so you think very straightforwardly. He's just like, well, I guess I'll just have to beat him up and then lock him back up. Yasan's like, well, you know that the one who beat him up before that was red-haired Shanks, right? No one else was able to do it since then. He then tries to go on a spiel about the power that Loki has, and it almost sounds like we're about to learn something. But then, what's wrong with Luffy? Because Luffy and Zoro just turn away and Luffy's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, your story seems boring and it seems like you're about to yap, so we're out of here. And Zoro's just like, good, I don't have to spend any more brain time thinking about this waste of time. So as Nami is thinking, yo, maybe we should listen to what he's saying a bit more critically, we then have a perspective flashback, I believe, from Yasan. A flashback to the Roger Monster Trio. Guys, in case you don't understand yet, somehow this is Scopper Gaban. Because in the flashback, we see Roger being like, what are you guys always scared of? I'ma just go on my own. And you got Rayleigh and Gaban just standing there like, that's not exactly what we're saying. Then you have Roger and Gaban arguing. Roger being like, if you want to stop me, you'll have to use force. Gaban is like, can you please use your head? So then Yasan is like, you know what, Rodo, come over here. I need you to push this throne, like just push it in front, because there is actually a secret chamber down here that I want to show you guys. And they're like, okay, but why do you have a secret chamber down there? And he's like, well, you know how it is. I just be digging and shit. And it's about this time that we get the Gaban gas that I've been waiting for my whole life. Back in the village celebration, Kashi is telling Usopp, you know, there were 2 other legendary fighters who stood alongside Roger. And Usopp's just like, wait, I thought it was just Roger and then Rayleigh. And they were like, no. There was another person who was about equal with Rayleigh. And they tell an amazing story of how he got his epithet. Apparently one day Roger was ill, so they had to be taken to a hospital on a certain island. Gaban was the only person to accompany Roger onto this island. And while they were in the hospital, enemy pirates surrounded them by the hundreds. Apparently, while Roger was recuperating, Gaban, using nothing but 2 axes, destroyed all of them. Keep in mind, this is not 100, this is hundreds. And they say that that's not even the craziest part, because just with his axe techniques, he was able to clear an entire forest, chopping down trees. And it is through that event that he was called Mountain Eater Scopper Gaban, the man who rivaled Vice Captain Silver's Rayleigh and was the left hand of Pirate King Gold Roger. And as Gaban leads the little expedition team down there, they see that, well, this used to be a treasure vault. Obviously people came and took it, but look, the key's still here. And as Luffy says, okay, that's great. You showed us where the key is actually. That's very useful, thank you. Gaban's just like, you heard what I just said, right? Thieves and all kinds of sorts were coming in here to take everything, but they purposely left that key. That means that they purposely don't want Loki to be freed. And you still want to. Luffy's like, well, yeah, I do. And now what? As we get the official name drop, Gaban says, well, listen here. If you want it, you'll have to go past me. I used to pray for times like this, to rhymes like this, so I had to grind my... Y'all actually don't understand how happy this makes me. First of all, the fact that next chapter we may be getting Luffy and Zoro versus GABAN, who had that on their bingo list? Speaking of bingo, we can definitely cross Scopper GABAN appearing off of that, because that was something that I put for me, but I'm so glad happened. Y'all, this whole time I thought I was the only proponent of the Scopper GABAN agenda. You can literally go back through my shorts and videos on how many times I mentioned his name. The chapter that we learned that Ripley's dad was a human ex-pirate, I said it was GABAN. The chapter that we saw the little figure TikTok walking through the fields, as it was the chapter when we learned that time flows differently, I said it was GABAN. The chapter where as the Straw Hats were leaving Egghead on their way to Elbaf, the figure said, "Ah, you're finally on your way here." I said that was GABAN. And you know what? Even in the chapter where we got the final 12, I said that this guy right here is GABAN. Though thinking back on it, fair enough, that might have been Shamrock. But does that matter? No, because it doesn't fit with my narrative. So that was GABAN. And the reason I'm so glad he's here is because everything he does directly impacts my favorite character. Everyone can see the obvious parallels between the Roger crew's monster trio and Luffy's crew's monster trio. And Zoro fans are so quick to say wherever we see Prime Rayleigh is where we can expect Prime Zoro to be, or even slightly above that. Same thing with Roger and Luffy. So I don't see any reason why we can't make the same logic for Scopper's Prime and end of series Sanji. And guys, again, I've literally been saying this. I have a short on it. My contribution to Agenda Piece was always that Scopper GABAN is going to come back soon, and when we do see him, he's going to be used to help upscale the heights that Sanji can reach. And you know what? I'm glad, because things can get toxic from here. Zoro fans, y'all better pray that he doesn't pop out with some crazy strength feats. Because if he starts holding off Luffy and Zoro at the same time, ooh, the discourse that will be had. Remember, I refrain myself from talking about this because I don't usually like to be seen as a toxic guy, but I am that, and I will fight any of you. But y'all, that's the end of this absolutely amazing, phenomenal chapter. It is a break next week, but keep in mind, we got 4 in a row. That's a month's worth of bangers from Oda. And considering that the last chapter is in contention for the greatest chapter in the entire damn series, take your rest, man. But I want to hear what y'all have to say about this. So let me know everything you're thinking about GABAN right now in the comments. That is going to be the end of the video, y'all. But before we go, like the video, subscribe to the channel for more One Piece content just like this. Come on, I know we can push to 500 before the end of Feb. And share it around with all your friends who love the series, or anime and manga in general. Remember, I'm trying to build a community, but I need your help to do it. That's gonna be all for me. I'll catch y'all on the next one. And always remember, one piece, one life. Scopper, you are my rocker, like Waka Flocka. Hey, you know what? Somebody get Randy Troy on the line. Cause the way I be gassing this man up, I better be playing him in the live action.